Risk is a Minecraft Java modder who just got a job on the development team at Minecraft, and after posting about how it's Snapshot Day, one of the first things he did was to post this mysterious hint of an image saying yes, no, perchance, yesn't, with a tick in the perchance box, and then an image of some very blurry, what appears to be stonecutters in a desert. This is one of the most curious things we've seen from a new Minecraft hire, and given that the official Minecraft social media accounts are just posting cats and solitaire, it's worth asking, is this something we're getting to learn about the next update perhaps? Let's talk about update hits in general today, because hello, I'm IBX Toycat by the way, and you can subscribe to the channel, but let's go straight into the first question, because Cesano Green says, how many chickens do we have to offer up to the dark gods to finally get 1.22? I'm 100% sure that whatever is being hinted in this image is not 1.22, not because it's not necessarily the next update, but specifically because after this next update, 1.22 ain't happening, and instead we're getting 1.21.7/1.21.100. That's not just a feeling from MJ Channel 2009, but it's actually the truth, something that is verifiable, because Minecraft drops come out every 3 months, while Minecraft Bedrock minor updates come out every 6 weeks. This means after every drop, we get a minor update. After 121.50, the Garden Awakens, came 121.60, the more minor Bedrock parity update. After 121.70, the Spring to Life update, we got 121.80, the Bedrock Superflat update, and so what's going to come in 121.100? Well, that's the interesting question, but certainly when we're discussing what is being teased here, it's not 1.22, but perhaps the even more interesting question, again, if we assume that this is some form of tease that is not guaranteed from something that says literally per chance in the image here, but even if this was a tease, I think saying that it would be 1.22 would be wrong, because the truth is Mojang do lots of different projects that don't necessarily tie into their big major updates. The easiest example of this that has actually come to the game is the Villager Trade Rebalance. It was worked on in 2023 as a separate branch of the code that was only merged into it in 2025 this year, and even then only some of it, but the same is happening for a combat update right now. It's happened with the Minecraft Bedrock editor, and interestingly it happens with Realms in the background, so you might not have known this, but actually Realms can get updates without your client having to be updated, and so David, Cornerhard MC, the Realms lead at Mojang, actually tweeted this week saying that yeah, there's going to be a fun small Realms improvement coming in 121.90. It's the add members button that will take you directly to the screen that allows you to add members to your realm. Cool, right? Anyway, there's lots of these projects happening at Mojang at any given point in time, and so genuinely it's actually not that easy to be sure which particular project any developer is working on, but I do totally understand why you need to split the company into lots of working units, because if you've ever tried to hang out with more than like 5 friends at a time, I mean I don't have more than 5 friends, but if you've ever tried to hang out with a bunch of people that you know all at the same time, you just kind of split off into different groups, and it's really hard to get anyone to go anywhere at one time. That's an absolute nightmare, and so instead having lots of teams working on lots of different things works really well, and so if you see any hints, genuinely you can't even be 100% sure where in particular it actually relates to, and so maybe this isn't a 1.22 hint, maybe it's not a hint of any form, but if it was a hint towards something, you could see this as being a fun way to hint at vibrant visuals, right? Presumably on the Java side of things, because this is the exact opposite of those same visuals, which by the way, Sigma Man 1448 says that they love because it does a lot of things you just don't see in shaders, not to rag on shaders as they are spectacular, but they think that VV is just super innovative, and yeah, you can get better looking shaders just like how you can get super OP mods and add-ons, but the truth is doing something that feels like it naturally as a part of Minecraft is so much harder, and that's why I like vibrant visuals more. But I got this interesting comment from Justin Carey who said that the thing they don't like about vibrant visuals is how hazy the air looks. This was one of the most upvoted comments, and the most upvoted response to that was, I think it's just because he has the brightness way too high, and this got me thinking, do you know what, maybe they are right. I think sometimes it is worth listening to your critics, and so I'm going to see what vibrant visuals looks like. Here in my default graphics, it's slightly above 50%, but I'm going to show you the entire scale from 0 up to 100, so you can decide for yourself what you think the best brightness level is, because technically speaking, even though I'm just above 50%, and this is below where most people might choose to set it, according to this scale, I should actually set my brightness all the way down here around 20% so that this left one is not visible. But let's start with 100% to show you what the benefits of this are, because obviously vibrant visuals at 100% is just too much for most people. 100% is definitely far too bright. It looks like you have a wild light sensitivity, or you're a vampire that's just been presented with the rise of the day. It's absolutely terrible how overly lit things are, but I think there are some people who might like just how super bright it is. Maybe if your natural TV doesn't have a lot of brightness, or indeed, I would argue if you're going into a cave, the moment your eyes or your Minecraft camera adjusts, you can see that things are actually very, very visible very, very easily here. What is happening here, by the way? Oh, that was a strange lighting bug. So yeah, oh, where is this light coming from? It's coming from nowhere. Oh, that's very, very strange. But yeah, coming into caves is pretty decent at 100%, but otherwise not that great. I think they genuinely look better at 80% because you can see just as much, but it's much clearer that it's meant to be dark. And so, yeah, now that we're in this cave, in this dark, let's come back out of it and see that, oh, the world looks a little bit better. It's still too bright in my opinion, but honestly, barely. I think the average Minecraft player might just go, oh, this is how vibrant visuals are supposed to look. I love it. It's super bright and airy, and honestly, this arguably is the best of both worlds. If all you care about is Minecraft looking better, and you don't want to lose any brightness anywhere in your world. However, what I do is I lower things another notch, because at 60% you can see that some things aren't looking that bright anymore, but it's kind of more realistic Minecraft. I don't think everything is meant to be super overexposed and oversaturated, and so this is where I land as a balance between playability and looking like beautiful Minecraft, but you can technically choose to go lower. This is 40%, where you're really making that trade-off on how your Minecraft looks. Again, it's just a little bit dark, even though the sun is almost at the noon point in the sky, but everything is going to look super nice. For the purpose of an individual screenshot, I would argue this is probably the sweet spot. However, again, if you intend to ever go into a cave anywhere, you're going to need to raise this because it's already not that good. Some would argue this is exactly how caves are meant to look. If you don't have light, you don't have a cave, but most would argue that making your Minecraft less playable isn't fun, which is why those people probably don't play on 20% brightness. This is what the slider suggests you should play at so that your dark areas are not visible. But like, literally, who wants this? Who wants there to be parts of their world they can't see? I have received a couple of comments saying, Toycat, what do you mean you want to see things in the dark? That's basically cheating. And I actually kind of get that vibe. But even the overworld, it looks like I have a permanent eye damage done to me, or I'm wearing some form of corrective lens, which will get worse at 0%, by the way. This isn't the minimum. Because this is, as you can see, I've been looking at the sun for 40 minutes straight, and now I can barely see any colors. The surface looks worse now than the caves do when you play at really high brightness levels, and if you dare go into a cave, if you can find them, because it's, again, even the shadows of the trees are very blinding here. If you dare go into a cave, good luck ever finding your way out if there's not some natural light. I do not understand why anyone thinks these last few brightness levels are worth playing with, but I want to hear your thoughts. Is this a better way for vibrant visuals to exist? Do you want to have that artificial brightness? Because this is definitely bad to me, but maybe you'd argue where I naturally fit things at about 60% is bad for you. Anyway, one of the interesting comments I got was actually saying, you know what, Toycat, you need to check out a jungle. What you've been doing so far with your biomes is great, but the jungle is where things get even better. And so, sure, let's head over to a jungle right now. Supposedly, the reason I should go there is because there's a humidity in the air, and honestly, I figured I should check that out in my more natural settings. So here you can see, at about 60% brightness, there is a slight humidity in the air, which kind of plays up as fog. That means you can't see as far out of here as you otherwise would, because again, the air is thick and filled with water. I don't know that this makes sense for the jungle. I think it's a great fit for biomes like the swamp or the mangrove swamp, which I think there's one of just over here. I think that humidity makes sense in those places, and these places being murky is great. However, I don't know that it's a perfect fit for the jungle, but yeah, I guess this is something that me and the Mojang devs disagree on, but I want to know what you think now that you've seen all of the brightness levels. Which one is the right spot, in your opinion, for playability and for visuals? Because I think it's 60, but I think that there are some people who probably say that 80 or 40 are great, but maybe I'm way off and actually people love 0 or 100. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on vibrant visuals, because I think this is a real nice sweet spot. But again, I get so many comments saying that the brightness is wrong that maybe I'm wrong. You ever consider that? Nah, it's probably, it's everyone else who's wrong, not me. Speaking of everyone else being wrong, I got this interesting comment from a brand new subscriber. Thank you for joining the channel, AGD player that is cool. And they say, I think the thing auto-corrected wrong and it says abusement park. And it's true, in my 12 years of survival video, it says abusement park on screen instead of amusement park. Haha, imagine that mistake existing. Anyway, another fun mistake is Awful Weather 5684, who says they just need to add custom superflats back so we can have a whole world of that eerie pale garden fog. And guess what? You don't have to hope, because Cracked Magnet has actually created a custom superflat generator, because the custom superflats exist in the game code by default, which means if I want to, I can have a world that consists entirely of, what's the silliest word for this? Beds. And I can make the biome into a pale garden, which I'm going to do right here, and then we can send this over to our Minecraft. And if I'm not mistaken, we should, I forgot to place any blocks. Well, let's try that one again. Okay, hopefully this works a bit better. There we go, look at this. I don't know how I am magically floating above all of these lightly waxed, weathered, cut copper double slabs. Oh, it's because there's beds here, but the beds are invisible. And then even if until I place them down manually? Okay, well that's weird. Oh, is this a bed too? Yeah, the beds are overlapping with one another. Oh, this is so interesting. I don't know how any of this happens, but I do know that this should be a pale garden, and so there should be a ton of fog. That there is not. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet the biomes aren't based on the biomes. They're going to be based on the seed map instead. Which means what might happen if I roll around this world is if I come over here, for example, this might magically be a different biome, despite the fact that it shouldn't be one. Nope. I have no idea what's going on here. Well, it looks like I was wrong, and not the comment here. There are no custom superflats when it comes to pale gardens. I don't understand why, though. I'll try one more time. Okay, so just to test that the biomes actually work for vibrant visuals, I've loaded this up with the Badlands biome. We don't call it that, but it's the Badlands biome. And as you can see, oh, there is no fog here. I mean, if there is, I can't spot it. Does it look like a Badlands to you? And then I've got this one, which is definitely a pale garden. And the way I'm going to test this is I'm going to go to the part of the world that is a pale garden, if this were a regular Minecraft seed. I'm going to see if things suddenly get dark there. According to my video, 5 hours of Vibrant Visuals gameplay to relax to, at 611 284 on this seed, I should be able to find myself a pale garden. So what do? I turn my game mode to creative, and I TP myself to 611, I don't know, 80, and then 213. No, it was 284. I am bad at remembering numbers, apparently. But if we go here, does it look like a pale garden? It does not look like a pale garden. It could be that if I go deeper in... No, I think there are no biomes in super flat worlds. I think every super flat world is assumed to be a plains. There's only one way to confirm that this is true, though. This is a custom super flat preset, so it's made by Minecraft itself, literally called Desert. If this doesn't look like a desert biome, because it is a desert in every conceivable sense, oh, it does. So maybe, therefore, Minecraft have just changed where they store the biome data, and it's Cracked Magnet Superflat Generator not working, and therefore, you are right to wish that we had custom superflats back so that we could actually make our own pale garden worlds, because honestly, the desert does look beautiful, doesn't it? It's hard to argue it doesn't. Anyway, to bring things back to the next non-Vibrant Visuals update, I think it is worth considering what Mojang are up to, and I got this interesting comment from WarioDude128, who says, the cynic in me says that Mojang has gone on defensive over what 4J Studios is doing and wants to release this editor mode to destroy any momentum that Reforged might have. Guess we'll see when 0.9.9.9 comes around, and yes, we are expecting there to be a preview on Tuesday, and in that preview, I wonder whether they'll go to 0.9.9.9 or whether they will actually release 1.0 of the editor. editor mode. It's going to be a big deal coming out soon. But yeah, this arguably is in response to Reforge, right? They've just announced that corner sculpting is coming and another update to their Reforge Pioneer program. By the way, more people will be able to join that soon apparently. So I do think that this is a reasonable narrative to spin, but I also do think at this point, both Reforge and if we're being totally honest, the Hytale game by Hypixel, I think both of these games aren't really the most direct threat to Mojang, although hopefully they do keep them on their toes. But I think that what Mojang are really going for with editor mode and vibrant visuals and all of these more firm changes, not to features, not to 1.22, but to actually the way that they make things, I think that they're aiming after their much bigger competitors of Roblox and Fortnite, because the idea that you now have games that operate as platforms where you play your games inside of that games has really just become this huge concept that Minecraft really wants to cash in on. And I think that add-ons are the best example of that. Plug, by the way, for Toycat's Toolkit releasing Tuesday. But I think add-ons are one of the best examples of that, and ultimately I think that that is something that they really want to make sure they can do. They want Minecraft to be the best space for people who are going to be creative, which is why Editor isn't something that's launching inside of the game. It's a game engine effectively made by Mojang. It's why vibrant visuals only run on the top 20% of devices, but allow the game to be marketed as this beautiful thing, even if 80% of people won't actually play with it on. And so that is what I think Mojang are heavily working on as their competition priorities. But only time will tell if I'm right. Maybe I'm entirely wrong and all of these ideas are nothing, and actually 1.22 is going to be the end update that blows us all away. I hope that that is true, and I hope that Minecraft does focus on the vanilla game. I hope that they don't forget that it's important to work on all of these extra, like changes to your graphics, but it's also important to make the base game as good as it can possibly be. But anyway, that's something we'll have to see. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed it, and otherwise I'll see you on the next non-bank holiday Q&A Saturday. Do bank holidays exist outside of the UK actually? If I say bank holiday, do you assume that I'm not going to the bank to... Yeah, anyway, with that said, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.